Based on the offseason moves that Texas Tech has made, it is playoff or bust. And these are lofty expectations for Joey McGuire, but I don't think it's that crazy. So let's do an offseason review where we go through an entire team's offseason, give it a grade all the way to kickoff. Let's talk about the big headlines when we're talking about Texas Tech, the number 2 overall transfer portal class in the entire country. Texas Tech as an institution has just put in so much money into their athletic department. I think softball has made headlines in terms of how many NIL funds they've pumped in there, and they just made a national championship. Now let's talk about football, which is valued about $40 million for the entire roster. And I think they brought in a ton of key pieces. Guys like David Bailey, I think, is an incredible get, and I think they had over 12 four-star additions from the transfer portal. Pair that with the fact that they were able to bring back Micah Hudson after losing him in the last cycle. But I think the most underrated move that they made, which has a ton of upside, was the fact that they had to flip both their offensive and defensive coordinators. And the hire that I like the most is Mac Leftwich. He was the former offensive coordinator at Texas State when they've had a ton of offensive production over the past couple years. And mind you, he is only 30 years old. He is so early into his career, so there is some risk there, but I see a ton of upside in him being one of those guys that is super young, a young offensive mind that could rise up over the next couple seasons. So with that being in mind, I think if I were to give it a grade, I would give this an A offseason. But when you make these big splash moves and put this much money into the program, expectations become very real. And I do think it is playoff or bust for Joey McGuire and the Texas Tech Red Raiders.